appreciate each and every one of you coming to support us today. I want to really thank you. Back to the Vision Achievers Trust. We focus on a brighter future for who? We focus mainly on the young children, on the young generation. For the future to be better, we need to look after our young people, and we need to nurture them and make sure that tomorrow will be a successful tomorrow. The background of the Vision Achievers Trust, how did it begin? Otherwise we wouldn't be here today. I'm sorry for the blurry image, but that's our visionary. Like you had Miss Zimbabwe highlighting that Mbuya Mugaba, that's Mbuya Mugaba. She's my mother. And this story here, which we are gathered here today witnessing, started in 2008, I would say. In 2008, I traveled to Zimbabwe to visit my family, particularly our visionary, the late Mbuya Serena Makaita Wachkoka Mugaba. In 2008, she was still living, she was still there, and I'd gone to see her and to see all family. So, as you all know, you might have read from the news, things were really not good in Zimbabwe in 2008. I think it was the peak of the deep decline of the economy and political situation. So what happened is, when I went there, there was no food. It was difficult to get food. And one day, I woke up and started to do the morning routine. So we started preparing to cook breakfast. Then I took a pot, a small pot, and put it on the fire. Then my mom said, "No, don't use that one. Take the big one, the four-legged one." I said, "Mom, why?" Because we are only four. We were four at that particular time. Then she said, "There is nothing in the village. There is no food in the village. The people are suffering. They will come to eat. So put a big pot." So I said, "Oh, but how do you know that they will come? Because they're not here." She said, "They will come." And before the day ended, truly, the big pot was not even enough. So I saw it and I understood what she was doing. During that time, I didn't, consider it deeply what it meant, but it was on a daily basis. Although we didn't have a name for it, but now, later, I thought, well, could that have been a drop-in center? In a way. So in 2011, my mom passed away, and we went to Zimbabwe for her funeral. So when we had the funeral, people came in, giving testimonies. And by the end of the day, I had learned a new thing about our visionary, my mom. I had learned that what I had seen in 2008 was not enough, because people came one after the other giving testimonies of how Mbuya Mugaba was helping them. And I person myself, we all gathered with my brothers, our family, and we said, "Do you realize to what extent Mom was, the work that Mom was doing, from the videos, from what the people were saying?" So we said, well, she was a woman of substance. She had something that she had, and it all inspired us. And then what did I do? I just started. I I sent somebody to buy this book. As you can see, it's a tattered book. I sent somebody to buy this book. So they bought the book, and I started scribbling a story about my mom. I started writing about her. This is what I wrote. I hope that I can be fast and go to the other things. This is what I wrote last year. Selina Mugaba was born in the year 1936 in the area of Sape. Selina's exact date of birth is not known. She grew up as an orphan, mainly under the guardianship of an aunt and an uncle. At the time, Selina was barely literate, as she had not received any meaningful standard of academic education. As an alternative, she secured a job at a farmhouse where she worked as a nanny. She was a very young girl at the time. Eventually, she met a young and handsome Maxwell Edward Mugaba, that's my father, whom she later married. Selina managed to inspire her husband and children through her hard work and passion and determination to succeed. One remarkable thing she did was to enroll at an adult literacy course where she gained the skill of reading and writing, mainly in vernacular language. Selina constantly read her favorite textbook, the Bible, until the time of her death. She died at an approximate age of 75. Mourners came from far and wide to pay their last respects. Selina had been secretly helping children and men facing hardships. Among many emotional stories was the testimony regarding a young girl who had been sponsored with uniform and trip money for a youth retreat. The sponsored girl requested to sing a tributary song as a last respect to Selina Mugaba. The other was a testimony of how Selina sacrificed to pay money to enable a neighbor to undergo a crucial surgery, which was supposed to save the neighbor's life. The operation was successful thanks to Selina Mugaba having paid the cost. The family members of Selina Mugaba, that is her husband, children, grandchildren, and relatives, found it befitting that they honor the good work and the acts of kindness demonstrated by their mother. As a way of ensuring continuity of Selina's charitable deeds, a proposal was tabled to set up a trust fund named Selina Mugaba Trust. It was myself, Agrena Mushonga, who tabled that proposal after having written this. One thing for certain is that Selina hated poverty. The funds raised under Selina Mugaba Trust will therefore be targeted towards poverty alleviation. The goal can be achieved through sponsoring self-help projects among the community, such as gardening projects, farming projects, poultry, piggery, and other projects. Other initiatives will be funding educational initiatives, set up a community resource center with useful materials and resources such as books, computers, etc. And then, when I read this, what I've read out, I read this to our family when we had gone to Kariba, because after mother died, we went to Kariba for a family retreat, and that is when I read this. I just got my brothers, my sisters-in-law, everyone, and then they started to say, oh yeah, we can, set this up and, do something about it. So that is how we started. And then my father gave $20 US. He said, you can start with this $20 US. And then one of my nephews gave £200. That's Robert Jr. And then Maxwell gave £200. And then I placed £500. And then from there, we just started. And then we just started to do work. And I still have I don't have the other piece. My sister-in-law, she was dozing because it was in the night, writing the minutes for that. So that was the launching chapter of the Vision Achievers Trust. And these were the initial objectives that I wrote. Identify children, men and women affected by poverty in Goneso and surrounding areas in Weza district of Zimbabwe. Source funds and material resources to help individuals and communities in need. Empower impoverished individuals and communities to run and manage relevant self-help projects. Facilitate relevant project management and skills training courses among identified beneficiaries. So the reason why I read this is the foundation. This book laid the foundation of the reason why we are all gathered here today. And this book, I don't know what I'm going to do because I am not going to lose it. I know now we type things on the computer and do what, but this tattered piece of paper is the foundation. Pane neo dzakasimba pachipepa ichi is the foundation. Pane neo dzakasimba pachipepa ichi. This is where we began, and today is the road. And for that reason, I recently, as you might know, I'm an author as well. So I recently released a book, and in that book, I wrote on the acknowledgement. It's called Stories from Africa. It says, perhaps I might not have ventured into writing if it were not for the woman from whom I got the inspiration to tell stories. The woman is my mother, the late Mrs. Serena Makaita Wachipoka Mugaba. I thank her in her absence and sincerely dedicate this book to her. So, that is the beginning. Thank you. Our aims and objectives. Perhaps I've already, because I wanted you to understand where we are coming from. So perhaps I will repeat, but it doesn't matter. Our aims and objectives is this will touch Vision Achievers Zimbabwe, and it will also touch what I will talk about Vision Achievers UK, the chapter we are launching today as well, Vision Achievers UK. So our aims and objectives are to improve the quality of life for disadvantaged individuals, communities, particularly children, women and their families. Our projects in Zimbabwe, I've already touched on it. School fees for primary schools, school uniform for primary schools, resources for small income generating projects, projects in poultry rearing, learning resources, stationery, pencils, books for primary schools. If you can, the schools that you are seeing there, that school, the dilapidated building that needs to be, rebuilt. That is the school where I attended my school. It's Goneso School. That is where in Zimbabwe, where this project is linked. You will see, this is one of, if you see him, his father was the head teacher of the school when we went to the school. And his father taught our entire family. And his mother as well was my second grade teacher. So this is the school where we are basing our project. We are working closely with the head teacher of Goneso Primary School. There is also a project in poultry rearing which we are sponsoring, which is being, the head teacher called me a few days ago and he said, oh, you know what, we are now, the chickens are now mature and we are now marketing them. So, it's a poultry project, it's exciting. The parents are involved in, making sure that the chickens are fed, and the children are involved as well. And then, all the money goes to subsidize what is required at the school. So that's what we are looking to do. On the learning resources, that is quite a big issue. What we do from time to time, I normally send things like this, stationery, pencils, every little helps. You don't know how difficult it can be, when you are in a rural school and you can't have things like, mathematical sets, or, some people can afford, but most people cannot afford. I sometimes send first planners for school children and the like. So those little things which you think do not matter, they really do. And I know those little things really matter. And there are some children who have never seen a laptop, who have never been on the computer. And, some of us may have 3-4 computers. If we just give up one for those who need. Yeah, that's the top, that picture there. Most of them are the trustees, and some of the people some of them are my brothers. Him, Robert, right now. In the corner, his head was cut. That's the visionaries, widower, my father. And that's the school development team at the back there. And those are some of the children. Some of them we help them buy school uniform and like. That's the head teacher. Oh, smiling. You can see they are all very happy. And it's a prize giving day, and we had Vision Achievers Trust and supplied prizes for the to be given to those who had done well. Right. What's our future? We would like to expand projects to include disadvantaged pupils in secondary schools, like the Sponsor a Child with School Fees program. It was championed by Robert. The thing has gone out. So we are sending only at the minute, because of limited resources, having to dig from our pockets. We are sponsoring only 11 children, and we want to expand so that we go on to, when they go to secondary education, we can still continue with them, and we want to have more children. I'm glad to say that there are some people who have promised to say that they want to sponsor a child. It's not much. It's not much. Per term, it's roughly $12 school fees. And then if you want to add, like, school uniform, stationery, and other things, that's good. And then provide learning resources. I've already talked about supplementary readers, laptops, computers. And then expand current projects. May I say that there's a an issue of water, where we want to help community projects like community gardening. In Zimbabwe, when people go to fetch water for their gardening, and sometimes the rivers are covered with sand, siltation. So for them to get water to water their plants, they have got to dig the soil. Those who know mifuku in Shona, you have to dig the soil, and then water trickles in, slowly. And imagine using that water to do any productive gardening. It's very difficult. So one thing that I would really want to happen is just to have a borehole sunk into each and every community garden, so that people can have easy access to water. Imagine pregnant women, having to walk and put, carrying buckets of water from, far. And the elderly, like my father, imagine he's old and he has to carry, you know, all those things, and it's very difficult. But somebody out there could do something. Our UK objectives. What are, you tell me if the time is going, because I can talk all day. Our UK objectives. What are our UK objectives? In the UK, because I thought I'm living here in the UK, we are doing work in Zimbabwe, right? Fine. But then what about in the UK where I'm living? You need to also look what's surrounding you, and you need also, you know, you can't ignore things around you as well. So while we want to help in Zimbabwe, we also want to help in the UK. We also want to help elsewhere. So that is when I came up with an initiative of also, you know, coming up with the Vision Achievers UK chapter, so that we can work here and improve lives for disadvantaged communities, disadvantaged individuals in Leicester and beyond. We also work with disadvantaged communities, the homeless, refugees, and sanctuary seekers. I know there is I can see Pelagia sitting there. I didn't see her coming in. She does fantastic work. She was recently okay. She was recently awarded community champion. International champion.
I'll take over for a minute. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not supposed to be here, and I'm not supposed to say hello or talking. Today is Agrena's day, but I want to thank Agrena Mushonga today, because Agrena Mushonga with the Vision Achievers, she's talking about UK already. They have already donated meal and phone cards for the refugees to phone home. Thank you very much.
I'm going to mentor, you know, not me necessarily, but we will find people who will volunteer, people who have got the expertise, who will help us to mentor and support young, talented individuals with a dream. We want to be able to help young ones to achieve what they want to achieve. I won't be long now. So that is our objective. So I'll come to the last part. Last but not least, how can you help? Can anyone tell me? How can you help? These are the ways that you can help. Become a member of the Vision Achievers Trust. I hope that Mkoma Nigel can start setting up the membership thing.
Oh yes, that is actually working. You can go online and
come on Nigel, come and say it. Come on.
Come and say it. I don't really like to be in front of people and talking. I'm not used to this game. But however, on the Vision Achievers website, you are able to subscribe as a member of Vision Achievers. And our aim is to get as many people as we can on that website. We're also on Facebook, so those who are on Facebook, you can follow the Vision Achievers. We will be sending you more information about further events that we're going to have, like this one. We should be having one in June. Is that right?
Well, June is in May.
Yeah.
It's the launch of a book anyway.
Yeah, in May we are going to have something there. Then we'll be sending you information, but please keep subscribing to the website. I think that should be okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mkoma Nigel. I hope that people like Mkoma Elisha Shamba, you can advertise for us on your Health News. Yeah. And Mkoma Simba, Simon Live. Oh, I'm thinking I've seated there. Thank you. And then you can donate in cash or kind. You can advocate just talking about the Vision Achievers Trust. You never know how you influence the person you are talking to. And you can fundraise for the cause. You can volunteer. There is always something for you to do in Vision Achievers Trust. So in a nutshell, I can say in a nutshell, But before I sit down, I would like to thank somebody in here. I had not mentioned them. I'm so excited seeing people, you know. But I would like to thank somebody. Mr. Mushonga. And I would like to say, you know, this man, I don't know what to say because he just puts up with me. I don't know, I'm writing this and it never ends, and I'm doing the Vision Achievers and I'm doing this. And you know what he told me? The other day he said to me, I'm called My Simba, by the way. He said to me, My Simba, you know what? I can't change you. Now, whatever you do, I'm supporting you 100%. And I'd like to, you know, just thank everybody. My mom, thank you very much for coming. That's my childhood friend. Come on, Hans. Let the people see you. Since we were children. I'd like to thank everybody else. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you again.